All right, y'all, we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business today. See if we see that it has BSS, aka boudoir search sameness, with these two Google searches here. All right, so we're back here in the GBC universe, where we take declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star here is, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. And more about that, pinned video, pinned post somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white. Got way on the left, we got the highest intent peeps. These are like, social searchers, Google searchers are searching for boudoir photo shoot in my city, like today. Focus on those peeps here. In our videos talking about BSS. And way over on the right, we got the lowest intent people that ain't searching for boudoir right now. And most of them have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. So we reached them through interruption ads through Facebook and Instagram. And we talk about that on our sister brand channel over there, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. And we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So, BSS, boudoir search sameness, that is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. 0 slots, terrible. That means we're dying a fast death, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. Page 1 is it's where approximately 80% of Google searches stop, so they're page one only searches. And if we got 1 slot on page 1, that still ain't good, because we're looking the same as everyone else. There's 10 organic slots, page 1 on Google. So, there can be 9 other boudoir photographers. And if everyone's got 1 slot, then guess what a buyer's doing? They're saying, oh, everyone looks the same here. No one stands out. And they're getting, hitting everyone's contact form, getting price quotes from everyone, and price shopping, comparing, driving margins down, negotiating. And, this is a business killer as well. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google search is actually not normal. It's a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Yeah, to have that few number of slots, not normal. It's 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, most people know what that is. Over time, people get new iPhones, get new cameras, kind of like upgrade their gear naturally. And as they continue, they eventually, throw out their Google Maps profile saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. They also throw out their website saying they offer boudoir photography, and they actually start posting in mom Facebook groups that they do boudoir photo shoots now. Basically, more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for all boudoir photographers at the same time. Now, the second one, the false belief of page 1 equality. This one, boudoir photographers believe that every boudoir photographer basically kind of gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and either they have it or they don't. Either Google gives it to them or they don't. So maybe they're in page 1 slot 8, and some market saturation happens. They go to page 2, slot 3, and they're like, well, that's how it is. And they're like, I hope those people above me delete their website so Google can rank me on page 1. But this is the 100% wrong thought process to have, because we now know for a fact that Google actually give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google search in only 10 days with this new methodology we developed, which you'll be seeing in a little bit. Now, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer DBP. That's because, if you 0 or 1 slots page 1, both situations, we're practically invisible. And so this kind of the warning light, the first, the canary in the coal mine for a disappearing boudoir photographer that's telling us we are on the path to our boudoir photography business itself disappearing. But thankfully now we have a solution, because through our testing we've discovered BSS is actually treated with social search saturation, aka S-Cube's methodology. And the way it works, I mean, it's exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, so we show up there as many times as possible, right at the top. And it's kind of like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains down in South America, on the backside of the Andes Mountains, the eastern side. And basically, when the snow down there melts, it forms into small streams, small rivers. Eventually, all that water collects to the Amazon River. Page 1 of Google is that Amazon River. Page 1 Google search. So we got to get the snow up top the mountains first for the water to then flow into the Amazon River. And the best way to get the snow up top, saturating social search. And this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that actually gives them a chance to actually still grow their business in the face of massive and increasing market saturation in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution I've seen that also gives the benefit is having a large, well-known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 10 years. AI's here taking peep jobs. We ain't got time to build one of those. But kind of an extra benefit of S-Cube methodology is, my estimate is it will actually build a brand about 8x faster in traditional ways, because we're on so many different surfaces with such a high frequency than everyone else. Kind of just naturally leads to a large, well-known brand being built. So example of boudoir photography business still growing even in the face of more and more market saturation. Let's say we are in Bangor, Maine. There's a million boudoir photographers there, and we're one of them. Everyone's got their boudoir photography website, trying to rank page 1 on Google. And what's actually happening is, we're like, dude, we don't have a brand. How the heck are we gonna compete? We actually, the only solution is S-Cube methodology. So we crank it up to, max level. Let's say we rank the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And as we get those slots, let's say we get those to flow down onto Google page 1. Well, we actually get the first 300 slots on Google, so it's 10 slots per page. We're taking the first 30 pages. People basically got to go to page 31 to find any of our competitors. So if we got the first 300 slots where anyone looks, no matter how far they scroll, any social search or any on Google, whose boudoir photography business is still growing? Obviously ours, because our buyers can basically not even find our competitors. So our 999,999 other boudoir competitors are basically dying / vanishing, and we're basically the only ones still growing. So that's the most extreme example of S-Cubed methodology. Now, once treated with S-Cubed methodology, we now have page 1 visibility. So initial benefit, we get more slots on page 1, cool. Secondary benefit, every new slot we get on page 1, we actually kick, or second initial benefit, we actually kick competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Dude, so we can do this to people right in our city. We can kick as many people off page 1 in our city as possible, because now we know Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And a lot of boudoir photographers feel that this is actually their most favorite initial benefit. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So this is when the GBC universe recommends we hit a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google search, because basically everyone else will have 1 slot, every other boudoir photographer, so we got 3, we're dominating them just off of sheer appearance. And if in the super rare situation that one person has 2 slots, well, we got 3 and we dominate them as well. And finally, a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our full micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. That's fine. We got our solution now. S-Cubed methodology gives us page 1 visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. All right, my results utilizing S-Cubed methodology for myself. I wanted to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. So I want to dominate page 1 for this. Sorry, I had 0 to 10 slots, page 1, Google search. So let's see my results using S-cube methodology. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So we got 9 out of 10 slots. I went from 0 out of 10 slots Google page 1 search to 9 out of 10 slots Google page 1 search in only 10 days, exclusively utilizing S-cubed methodology. So now we're going to look at this Boudoir photography business. Going to check. So all this is based on the Google page 1 searches here. So we got these 2 Google searches. Let's check these out. So first one, we got Boudoir photographer. Is that the first one? No, I think. Oh no, St. Augustine should be the first one. I got to do St. Augustine here. Boudoir photography, St. Augustine. St. Augustine. And there we go. All right. So let's see what we got here. Look for a supernova. There we go. So we got they got 1 slot. And all right, we got 2 slots here. Wedding wire. Yeah. We do not have BSS, so we got 2 slots here. That's fine. That's good. We perfect. Now we've not hit the GBC minimum. We want to have 3 out of 10 here, but hey, we do not have BSS for the search, so that's good. Now we want to hit the GBC 3 out of 10 minimum because that's kind of the only safe time we can say, hey, we're not going to disappear, we're not going to decline. We may not grow, but we'll probably at least tread water. So no BSS, but we're not hitting the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 here. Now let's check our Jacksonville, Florida. All right, so still looking for the same supernova. So we got 1. And nope. All right, none of these are specifically about us only. We got 1 out of 10. So we got BSS for the second search at Jacksonville, Florida. Bigger city. So BSS is more common in the bigger cities, obviously, more keyword competition. So we do not have BSS for St. Augustine, Florida. That's good, but we did not meet the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. But we do have BSS for the Jacksonville, Florida search, and we also did not hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. So if you're a boudoir photographer, a disappearing boudoir photographer, which means you've done local search for the highest intent keywords in your local area that boudoir buyers will be searching, and you've done the highest intent keywords for your city or closest city for highest intent keywords boudoir buyers will be buying, and you either have BSS for one or both, boudoir search sameness, or you do not meet the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google for either one or both. And you're seeing, you're liking the initial benefits of S-cubed methodology. You decide this is the one path, the one solution forward for you. If you want more slots page 1 on Google, and you definitely want to catch your competitors page 1 on Google, kick them to page 2, where now we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even make it to page 2. So the bulk of the market will never even find your competitors through organic search. And, you want to use S-cubed methodology because now you understand that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, and Google actually wants to give as many page 1 slots as possible to those who want to put in the effort to take them. And now we realize we got a methodology, a solution to take them with S-cubed methodology. And you understand the market saturation, new phone, new gear, bringing new boudoir photographers in. But you also are looking ahead and you're seeing that, hey, you actually need to fortify your business, and you decide you're going to fortify your business against the future boudoir photographers that come in, not only from the new iPhone and the new camera, but also the much larger share. The larger share is actually going to be more people losing their jobs to AI, and they still got to earn money, they still got to pay their expenses, and everyone's got a great camera attached to their iPhone already. So there's going to be way more boudoir photographers coming into the market because of AI, and you actually want to give yourself, fortification in preparation of those boudoir photographers coming into the market, kind of like the levees in New Orleans. They build up the sandbag levees because New Orleans is actually below sea level. So you actually want to build up that fortification in preparation for the future boudoir photographers entering the market, which is going to be more and more over time. So you already decided you're going to prepare for that, and you realized, hey, paying for Facebook ads ain't doing that. That's on Facebook. Paying for Google ads ain't doing that because that's only one slot on Google. The only option that gives you multiple slots um, is SQ'd methodology for boudoir photographers. And so you realize you need the solution. You want the initial benefits. You want the pre-fortification benefits because you need to achieve page one visibility to become a visible boudoir photographer and have boudoir search visibility because you need those things in order to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also like the back-end benefits as well, which we've not talked about yet, but you actually understand already, which is every day we execute SQ'd methodology correctly, we are actually increasing and building up these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business, or spokes, hub and spoke. It's attached into our business name, our brand name, our social accounts. And what this is building up massive momentum and mind share in the back end of these AI systems. So every day we successfully execute SQ'd methodology together, we're actually increasing the probability you get recommended here, AI overview, premium placement, the one top slot for a search in your city for a boudoir photographer, as well as increasing the probability that regular AI searches actually give you, actually feature you as well, as be ChatGPT search, Claude search, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Standard Google search still about 90% of searches globally, but dude, AI search growing every day. I haven't done normal Google search probably in like a year to actually like read and learn stuff from a website. I just do the AI mode on Google. And last time I searched for boudoir photographer was in I remember it gave me 3 options, but I actually went on my own and looked like Google standard search, and there were about 60 options. So dude, AI search can be more and more. SQ'd methodology gives us higher chances of showing up AI overview at the top and all AI search. And you also recognize the final kind of extra benefit of using SQ'd methodology since you've decided to be the first mover in your city, you can make all this progress, build up all these initial benefits and the momentum for the future benefits, kind of the invisible AI mindshare for your business, ahead of all your competitors, because right now my plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city on this. And so as a result, you actually, every day we successfully execute SQ'd methodology together, we are building up, got initial benefits initially happening very fast, and kind of the long-term benefits, the invisible benefits for AI overview recommendation, AI search recommendation. Every day we're putting a bigger and bigger gap between your current competitors and the future competitors coming from AI stealing people's jobs and people becoming boudoir photographers because they need to earn money. We're building up this momentum where basically no one, when we execute on this, no one's going to be able to catch up to us. Because conversely, if someone else in your city went with me first, you would have to rederive or derive for the first time the correct way to do S-cubed methodology, and you would never actually be confident you've derived the correct way to do it. Never be 100% confident, and then you'd have to go equal our execution with me and your competitor. But we've already been doing it long before you, so we've already built up a massive gap between then and you with all the initial benefits and the future benefits, momentum with AI mindshare. So you'd have to then execute the same amount of us every day. And then if you did that, you'd simply maintain the gap that me and your competitor have already made of us being ahead of you. So you'd have to actually double or triple our execution to pull that AI mindshare, those invisible thematic keyword columns away from the competitor's brand, competitor's name in your same city for the AI mindshare in the back end. Pull that back towards yourself, and like, dude, who's got time for that? I mean, how are you gonna outcompete the person that invented SQ'd methodology, me? So you decided, screw that. You decided, okay, you're gonna be the first mover because you want to be the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. So if that's you, shoot me a DM when my DM's open. The hospital is not currently open for new patients. When I do open up for new patients, I watch these videos. I'll put out a notice, and yeah, shoot a DM then, and we'll see if you qualify for using S-cubed methodology.